start the episode.
Jess's transitions for the last one were really great.
Do what?
Oh, that's how we normally. No,
No, I was just saying her transitions were really great.
They were great.
Transitions.
To get into your questions,
Oh,
yeah.
I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, hi. Okay. All right.
My loneliness. That's how this episode's starting. Starting on that. That's the key. I must confess. I still believe.
You guys, we are back for another season. Welcome to season 2, where we are successfully awkward at singing to you when you haven't seen us for a month.
Yes, a whole month.
2 months. 2 months?
Was it?
1 month.
I have no idea.
I don't freaking know. Anyway, this is episode 1 of Wisdom by Design. Welcome. My name is Jessa.
Season 2. Yeah.
What did I say?
You said episode 1, and I just wanted to throw season 2 on there.
Oh.
To congratulate us for making it to another season, y'all. We here.
Another season, season 2. No, people are going to be like taking their headphones out of their ears because I'm screaming at them. What is up, Dropouts? Welcome home. It is season 2 time. We are a podcast for the creative looking to enrich their life with knowledge. We won't be giving you 3 ways to get rich quick. We are for the college avoider, the corporate dropout, the person burning the midnight oil on their next big project. We are here to talk with you, offer up the processes that work for us in our business, and to be real about the ones that frickin' suck, y'all. Okay? This might be your new fave podcast, but we're biased. So welcome. Hello. Hi. Hi. How are you doing today, Kam?
I am great.
Yeah?
The merch? We merch.
I see the merch. I'm impressed. What's the hat? What's the hat say?
Oh, so this is a hat I always wear, but it says empower. So IMPWR.
Yeah,
so,
that's your nonprofit.
Yeah. One day I wanted to be my nonprofit, but I wear it because I want it to kind of it's the bigger meaning for all of this for me. Yeah. Is to like empower other creatives and other people who look like me to do creative things. So
yes, and we're out into the universe right now because it's happening.
You have value.
The world needs it. You are awesome. So today, what are we talking about?
We didn't ask you how you were doing first.
Oh,
slow down. Slow your roll. Sorry. How are you doing, Jessa?
I am caffeinated. I am showered. I am here. Okay.
The big 3.
The big 3. That is I'm doing pretty fantastic. Thank you for asking. Anything I'm trying to think. I've got like a bunch of new books that I'm reading. Ooh. I am about to get really heavy into busy photography shooting season. So that I'm trying to prepare for that. I actually have a photo shoot after our podcast today. So I'm like mentally getting
turning the knobs. You're getting
turning the thing.
But
the thing. Yeah, I'm doing great. Do you have any projects and anything that you're doing right now?
We've really just been working on trying to get power together. Just trying to. So we've gone from the stage of like thinking we knew what we were talking about, and then realized that there's a lot more that goes into this. So especially when people start businesses, your first customers are going to be friends and family. So you think when that friends and family start showing up, you think things are going to pop. You think you are ready to go. And then you realize that you have to actually market. You actually have to find a crowd. So we're at the point of, again, turning the knobs. 2021's for cultivating. So we're at the point of kind of cultivating that audience, trying to find the people who we can inspire to want to work with us. So we're leading with inspiration. And with power, we want people to, this is our new thing, is like, not our new thing. This was always there, but we know that people live a life of not being valued. They go to jobs where they're not valued. They get a degree that holds no value. They have all these things in their life that don't really have value. But with Power Design, we want to help you and guide you in knowing that your business and your ideas have value, and we can make them look great, and we can work them into something that can work for you, where you can create a legacy for yourself. So that's kind of where we're at. See, it sounds better than last time, right?
It sounds so fucking good. It sounds so good. I'm getting chills right now. I'm like, can we put, Sam, can you put like clapping like around our heads? A round of applause. That's awesome. That is chill, story worthy. Like, that is so good. That's so good. Look at you. You guys.
Be seen, be remembered. Power
guys,
design.
We have a new team member this season too, which we are very excited about. I'm just gonna call her our podcast manager because she's the shit. That's literally what she does.
She's not trying to hop on.
She's not trying to hop on. That's okay. That's okay. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready for us to like throw her in like this. But you know what? She is an integral part of our team. So now we are a team of 4. We have Sam on audio and visual. We have you and I, and now we have our podcast manager who keeps our shit straight. So
she's great at that. She does that for me in my normal life.
Yes, she does. Actually, if you guys have not, you need to go on TikTok because I was screaming last night watching that video of her making fun of you. Of her pretending to be you at your desk. I was like in tears.
1 minute, I promise. What do you mean you want me to pick up? I just cleaned up. I need this. This is very important. I emailed them 3 minutes ago and they haven't responded. Do you think they hate me?
Yeah, we'll post it on the Wisdom page.
I'm sorry, Kam. It was good. It was so good. That I feel like that goes for every artist though, that like every artist can relate to that. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad.
I don't. That's me. And I am stepping into me.
Good. You should. So today, you guys, we are talking about loneliness. Oh, that is a heavy hitter for a first episode.
It is.
Yeah. Why do we want to talk about it?
I one of the main things that I've especially been thinking about for this episode is we as creatives and as artists and as photographers and as like when it comes to creativity, you have to kind of go on a journey by yourself.
Yes.
So in that, you're alone. Like, to find your creative style, you didn't get there by huddling before other people and figuring it out. You have to be by yourself. So when it comes to being a creative, you're alone. Like, you're innately by design alone. Mm-hmm. So we really want to we're doing a little pivoting with Wisdom by Design, and we really want to be that home and that place where you feel cozy to come and hang out with other creatives and other creators, so that we can kind of fight loneliness a little bit. Because I don't think that's, I had like, and this is perfect for what I have some data, some research. Ooh, Season 2 has research. So there was a Harvard study done that tracked the physical and emotional well-being of 26 male graduates from Harvard, as well as 456 poor men growing up in Boston from 1939 to 2014. Multiple generations of researchers analyzed brain scans, blood samples, self-reported surveys, and interactions of these men to compile their findings. The conclusions are simple. The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period.
Absolutely.
I think that with Wisdom, we want to make sure that we kind of help in that battle. We help curb a little bit of the loneliness, a little bit of the sadness and the depression that comes with that by providing a community for our creative brethren and creative coworkers out here in the sphere of the world.
Yeah.
How does that sound, Jessa?
That sounds fantastic. That's true. And I think we're also seeing a huge surge in that with the quarantine. I mean,
for sure.
It's already hard enough being a creative, being on your own, because you like, we were just talking to Leela Mae Thompson. She is a freaking fabulous artist. If you guys or you won't see the episode yet because she'll be next. Yeah. She'll be next, but she goes into and talks about how in order to do your creative process, sometimes you do have to be alone. You can't go and sit in, a place that has hundreds and hundreds of people and try to make your art. Like, sometimes that's just not feasible. But with being in quarantine, especially, we're over here extra secluded, like extra secluded. So unless you have that community online, you're really just by yourself. You see your family in and day out, but unless you have like another creative to connect with, sometimes it's hard to get through those hurdles and those slumps, because I know we all get into it. Like, we all get into it. And like you and Sarah, Alex, like Emma, all of my creatives, those are the ones that have helped me through some of the hardest parts in my business and in my creative career. So, not only that, creatives are more prone to have a mental illness. Mm-hmm. I did find an article. I was trying to see where it had a statistic. This is from 2021. So it is from this year. It's a very well-mined article. But it talks about how even in just writers, I mean, like the statistics are astounding. It said that in 2012, a report called Mental Illness, Suicide, and Creativity examined 40 years of research of approximately 1.2 million Swedish people and determined that creatives had a slightly higher rate of bipolar disorder diagnoses and than the general population. They said that writers, like creative writers, are 121% more likely to suffer from a condition of a mental illness. 121%. Like, creatives are over here suffering, y'all.
Is it suffering or is it a superpower?
That's true. Is it suffering or is it a superpower? Because the benefits of art and mental health are phenomenal. I mean, that's something that, it is a positive outlet, and you are able to think completely differently. You're able to get in touch with the world. Like, the reason that creatives struggle so hard is because they take in so much. They take in their surroundings. They take in people's feelings. Like, they take in everything. So it's a superpower, and it's also a curse. It's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. So I know you brought up quarantine for feeling. Is there any other time in your life that you felt like lonely? Like,
even before, even before quarantine, like, if we're being completely honest, I really, really struggled. I did not have business people to say, hey, no, try it this way. I did not have creative people that said, hey, no, you do need a break. Like, I didn't have those people in my life that were able to lean on, to have that support. So it was really lonely. I mean, like, I was seeing people all the time. I was shooting, oh my gosh, like in 2018, I probably had over 100 clients. Like, I am not shitting you. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was shooting back to back to back, like easily 3 to 4 sessions a weekend. Like, it was gross. But during that time, like, I was seeing a lot of people, but I was seeing my computer more. Mm-hmm. I was, staying up late and having to work all those extra hours by myself. Like, it gets extremely lonely. I mean, all you're doing is staring at people who can't talk to you on a screen.
Yes.
So yeah, have you ever experienced that?
I will say, so I'm gonna get a little childhoodish. We're gonna go to Kam's childhood. Let's go. Do it. I felt most of my childhood I was by myself. Like, I had my brother, and I feel like my brother was the only kind of constant. And even when it came to my parents, I felt like they were more there to like parent me and not necessarily be there for me. So I had a little, and that's not anything on them, but I just had a hard time kind of connecting with them at all. So I spent a lot of my time kind of having to pretend that I was kind of fitting in. And I pretended a little too well because everybody thought I was okay.
Oh, yeah.
But I really, really struggled. Like, my only friends really, like, I didn't really have friends until my senior year of high school. Before that, I was hanging out with my brother's friends. And that was like really the only people who were around. So to go to school and like have this happy demeanor and achieve all these things that were supposed to give me value, I was really alone and really like by myself and really felt like that was the only way to do it.
I didn't know you were going to hit childhood. That's
I mean, we got to go there.
Like, that's literally the exact same experience. Like people knew me for having a ton of friends, but I literally hid behind my camera. My home life was exhausting. And not to like, shit on my parents, but my parents had a lot going on. They had a lot that they had to figure out on their own. And like, as kids, we just kind of had to figure it out, I guess. And like mental health wise, bro, if you would have seen my artwork from when that's actually where I found photography. Like that's when I got started. If you would have seen my artwork from when I started to now, I mean, you could literally see the inner workings of my brain at that time. Everything was dark. Everything was sad. Like I had friends that would like model for me and they would wear like really dark eyeliner and like they would have like tears running down their face. I mean, it was like I was trying to create this art that was inside of me because I was so sad all the fucking time. Like it was never, I would go to school, I would say hi to everybody, and then I would literally bury myself in the yearbook room, and I would just sit and do my thing. Like that was like my only outlet because I felt I loved all these people. I love talking to all these people, but at the end of the day, like you're by yourself, you're stuck with your thoughts, and it can get really hard in there.
And when I feel like going through that, you shrink yourself. Like
yes,
you're like, well, I don't want to be fully me because they like me at what I'm doing now, which was a disguise. So like, and I still struggle with that today. Like even with like telling people how I feel and like letting that like being that vulnerable part. I feel like that's kind of why I've had a hard time like connecting power and connecting my businesses because you do have to have there's a feeling that has to be like you have to emit to give to people for them to catch on and understand. And I've never understood why people didn't like my work or want to like buy it or things like that. But it's like there's more to it. And if you're not being your whole self or admitting that whole like who you actually are and being okay with who you are, then people aren't going to jump on board because you're giving off so many different. To them, you're giving off one feeling because you want them to feel a certain way. To them, you're giving something else. So you're giving off so many mixed signals that people don't know what's going on. So,
and I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when people are going through things like that, they don't want to burden other people. They don't want to like make other people feel bad because they're not feeling good. Like as kids, we are literally conditioned to get over it, get to class, like go to school, thankfully, like my mom she had mental health days. My mom worked in the mental health field for a very, very long time. She still does. I think she's at like 21 years or something. Like it's obnoxious. But she did create mental health days for us. And I remember times like waking up just sobbing, like, I don't want to go to school. Like, and my mom would be like, okay, you only have 4 mental health days. Like,
do you want to use one now?
Want to use one? And I'd be like, yeah. And like, so, it's hard. It's hard to talk about this as a business owner.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about this as a angsty teenager. Sure. It's something that needs to be talked about. So I'm glad that we are having this conversation openly and for other people to hear, because it does get lonely and you're not alone in feeling that way.
For sure. And we're not even talking about that's kids. Like think about being adults.
Yes.
Like
when you're expected to have your shit together. Like
there's literally, you turn 18 and there's markers now. Like, and I know and men and women, like, especially as like, when you're under 18, I think women, you guys have your markers start earlier than before 18. I felt like for me, when I was a man, it didn't start until it was like off to college, then the markers started. But I know for you guys, it's much earlier. But
that's because they have very low bars for men. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Platform. I can give you a platform if you need it. Is this a soapbox moment?
But I mean, hey, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, okay. I just so when the expectation starts,
it's still hard. I don't mean to squash your.
No, I understand raising a son. And seeing other people raise daughters. I understand. It starts early.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to those, like I said, those markers, they innately set you up to be lonely.
Oh yeah.
Well, now I need to check off graduating from college. So you force yourself through something you might not even have feelings for, but you have to complete a goal. And now you got to go to the job. Marker got. And it doesn't even mean you like that job. You just have to have it. So there's so many things. Now you have to start a family. Maybe you don't even like the person you're with, but you started a family. Now you have a kid. Maybe you didn't want to. Like, there's just so many expectations. And in expectation, it sets you up to be by yourself and be alone.
And don't even get me started on growing up in a small town.
Oh my God.
Growing up in a small town, that shit is like, it's like, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing this, and all of your other friends around you are doing it. Like, I remember trying to get into school and like some of my friends were already getting married. And I'm like, shit, I don't even know how to dress myself. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
You know? But, and I got married young. I got married at 23 and like, I don't regret it, but there was so much that I needed to work on in myself before I should have, been in a marriage or had a kid. Like it's insane. Like the pressure that they put on you from the very, very beginning to just check the mark, like just check the box and then everything will be fine. Life will be fine. And it's not like that.
Not like that at all. So you're and maybe the American societal human experience is loneliness on purpose to sell you more things. Like, it's to sell you the you want me to say it one more time? The American societal human experience is loneliness on purpose to sell you more things. And we need you to buy stuff, so we need you to be numb and alone.
Yes. Think about the health industry. What do they play on? Your self-esteem.
Yes.
Think about school. What do they play on? Well, you're not going to get a job if you don't do this.
100%.
Like they are, every single thing that we are fed is fed into our fears and not what we actually want to do with our lives.
Yep.
And I was reading another article that was talking about
one thing real quick. That's interesting because fear and like when you're alone, fear feels more like more sharp. Like it feels like, so that they are playing on you being lonely to feed you this stuff. That's crazy.
They're betting on you being stuck in your head. Like they are freaking cashing out on it. They're like, this person is suffering. I know how to end that suffering. Let's go.
Here's a pill. You got suffering? We got a pill.
Here's a really, really bad exercise routine that's just gonna make it worse. Like, yeah, it's like that. And especially with the article that I had mentioned before, it talks about how a lot of researchers right now are extremely worried about our age group because of quarantine, because of like everything that has happened. They're worried about the older teens and the young adults, because during that time, that is actually a transition period where you're leaving your inherited family and going to your chosen family. That's where you're experiencing things. You're trying to like find your footing. Like this is a very, very important time for growth. And if you think about it, nobody realizes how important that is. We just get told what we're supposed to be doing. We don't get told how to find ourselves. We don't get told, ways for us to figure our way out. We just get told, go to college. Yeah. Your next step is to go to college.
Whoa, that's a good point.
Yeah. Point. Okay, I went to college. I'm not using shit from college. Like nothing I have learned from college other than writing an email. Like I took a class on business emails. that, and even then, like, I don't really use that now because I like to put my personality into my businesses. Like, I feel like businesses are definitely, and this is off topic, but businesses are definitely going away from being that corporate cookie cutter
going away
thing to, hey, I'm a person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have feelings and thoughts and things that I want to support. And if you're here with me, like, come join me.
100.
So yeah, they don't say, hey, this is how you need to figure yourself out. This is, hey, you graduated high school. Now it's time to
go.
You may not know how to clean your room, but go.
And then you're like, yes, I did it. And then you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do with this?
I'm in my own apartment and my apartment is trashed. This is gross.
So it's not the best. So, and again, we all deal with it, and it's something we should, I don't know. I feel like I want to take it head on, and like with wisdom, we're taking it head on. Yes. And we want to provide a solution for that. And I feel like with this season,
less salesy way as possible, and the least
in the least, yeah, because we don't want it to be about that. We want to kind of create a space for creatives to not feel this way, so that we can feel happier, so that we can have connection, because connection is the only thing that's gonna, as a generation, get us to being old.
Yeah.
If we don't find it now, like you said, because of quarantine, it's cut, it's severed. So we're gonna have to go out of our way to create those points of connection.
Yes.
So
and you've been seeing it too. You've been seeing people saying, you know what, I'm tired of being by myself. Let's create a community.
For sure.
Let's do this. Like, you're seeing a community aspect in a lot of different places, and that's what's drawing people in, because nobody likes to be alone. Like, that's a really shitty feeling.
It's a really bad feeling.
It is a really bad feeling, and that was the main reason why Wisdom by Design was even created. We knew that there were people that felt this way. I've said it before in other episodes, and I'll say it again. My business did not start making moves until I was able to bounce ideas off of people, until I was able to talk to people about, like, the things that they're struggling with. And, oh, I'm struggling with that too. Well, how do you work through that? Oh, cool. Well, this is how I did it. Like, being able to make those connections. As human beings, we are social creatures. Period. We have to make those connections. And if you're not making those connections, if you're scared, if you don't know where to even start, that can, slow that process down. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide that community.
What we are doing. What we
are doing. Not trying. You're right. What we are doing is we are opening up our space. We want to open it up for you guys. We want you guys to come here and talk with us and meet with us. And, like, we don't know everything. We will never know everything, but we know what we've struggled with. Yep. And the only reason we know how to do it now is because we bombed it the first time.
Bombed it. We fashionably bombed it. Like, oh, no one's gonna buy it. Oh, no one's gonna like.
Oh.
Okay.
How do you think people get successful? They have to fail like 1,000 times before they get there.
Sure. So this is the announcement. I know we've been kind of beating around the bush, but this is the announcement. Me and Jessa are starting a Patreon.
Our very first one.
We're starting a Patreon, guys. So, and the goal here again is to kind of start creating that group, start providing content that our fans really want. So we are going to use that Patreon as a way to provide some extra content. We have a couple really fun ideas. I don't know if everybody's seen like the truth or drink videos, but we have some content ideas to do just to share more of us, and hopefully you'll be able to share more of yourself and not have to be in a place like Instagram or anywhere else where you don't necessarily feel like connected to anybody. So the idea is to create this Patreon and then hold the conversation and let the dialogue in the Discord in another place. Maybe Discord, maybe we haven't really figured that out yet, but whenever we put this episode out, we're filming it 2 weeks in advance. We'll have all that worked out. We'll have all the tiers worked out. And it'll be very, again, we're not trying to take your money, but we do want to build something, and building things does take capital.
Yes. And here's the thing, honestly, you guys, we don't make money on this podcast. No. We really don't. We love supporting other people. So when we have people on our podcast, we're usually paying them because their time is worth money. Like we
have value.
Yes, they have value. They're providing value for our listeners and for us. And so like this Patreon is a way for us to be able to get down into the trenches and be able to talk to you guys and hopefully maybe fund a little bit of the podcast.
For sure.
You know, because it does cost us money, but I feel like this is a very low entryway to not only support us, but to help us build up that community that we want so badly. We want people to stop feeling alone in their ventures, and that is our biggest freaking thing. Is you're not here by yourself.
You're not.
You're really not. And until Kam stepped into my life, until Alex came in, like until all these people were like, hey, Jessa, you know, you're doing some awesome things, but hey, did you think about this? You know, did it completely change the way that I started doing business? For so sure. if you are ready to make connections, if you are ready to like
not feel alone,
and if you're ready to figure out the funky stuff with us, like that's what we're here for. So I'm actually very excited. Yeah, God. So gross. Our last, well, and that's the other thing. The cool thing about our Patreon too is I believe one of our tiers is going to have a monthly meeting.
For sure.
It will have a monthly meeting. It only will have so many people each month, and we want to be able to talk face to face with everybody. Yeah. And I'm actually very excited about that one.
So fun. I'm excited. Like yeah. And that's one venture that when I left my corporate job, I was like, I'm going to talk to as many people as possible.
Yes.
Uncomfortable or not, I have to meet people. So I went out and I reached out to people and said, hey, let's hop on Zoom.
Yeah. Hey, how did you do that? Can you kind of tell them about that? Because if people start doing that, that'd be cool.
Literally just DM them on Instagram. That is it.
Yep. That's what I did to you.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I didn't have a bunch of cell phone numbers to reach out. I just DM them on Instagram. Some of them worked. Some of them didn't. Mm-hmm. And just didn't get butthurt when it didn't work. People are busy. Right. People have stuff going on. Busy. And just went on from there. And really, I've gained so much value, like understanding the value in myself and just having those conversations. Because you just realize you're not alone and that your experience isn't a single experience. And I joined my young professionals group in Phoenix, and I went to a meeting last night, and it was like a bar crawl, but virtually. And I thought it was going to be weird, but everybody was really nice.
Yes.
I told my story about like losing my job and then starting Power Design, and they were all like, thank you for sharing. I feel like that was a very vulnerable thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't expect that from them. I just wanted to tell people what was going on. And it wasn't even like that for me, but it was just, there's people out there, and we want to be there for you and like let you know that it doesn't have to be so hard. And right. You can find answers. You can find fun. We can just kick it. We can just hang out, and you don't have to spend so much time by yourself.
Right. Well, and like our podcast is for you guys. This is something that we saw a need for. Kam and I started talking, and we realized we were both struggling with so many different things, so many different social aspects that are drilled into our brains. I mean, we came together and we realized that we weren't the only people who were suffering through these things. And then we said, oh shit, let's talk to other people about it.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Who else is struggling with this? Like, who else is doing this? So like Wisdom by Design was literally designed because of the experiences that we went through, and because we know other people aren't the only ones suffering through it. So we want everybody to know, on our very first episode back on season 2, we are here for our community. We are here to build our community. We want to see other people not struggle anymore.
Yeah.
No more struggling in 2021.
Yes, live your version of a happy life. I want people to have that. Like, I'm tired of people being like, well, I have to meet these expectations. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You can do it, and you can find other people doing it to inspire you to live differently.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Solid.
I mean, other than that, like, what else is there? That's
join our Patreon. That's it. That's it.
In the least salesy way as possible.
In the least salesy way.
But no, seriously, guys, we would love the support, and we would love to support you. And we are trying to find ways that is not only supporting you guys, but is also helping us continue this podcast, because we've had so many people reach out and say, hey, this podcast is amazing. And right now the money is coming out of our own pockets, which we don't mind. But, you know, if it's something that where we can help people and people can help us, holy crap, that would be phenomenal. So yes, we'll probably have information on here as soon as this episode comes out. Yeah. So, but I mean, do you have anything else to add?
I'm good. I feel like that was a good, I feel like we said what we needed to say. Like, I feel like we got out what this episode was for. So
yeah, absolutely. So if you guys are struggling, if you guys are working through things and you can't really figure out where to go next, like, know that you are not by yourself. We are literally in the weirdest part of our history ever. I feel like weirdest. I mean, I see the sun trying to come above. You know, I see it, that silver lining. We're seeing the end, but we're still in the middle of this virus, of people getting their vaccines, and people are still inside. So
and the world will be different, and that's fine.
Yeah,
like, the world will be different. We will have jumped ahead, but just embrace it. And I feel like even the way we're doing this on Zoom, most people weren't filming podcasts like this. So we're jumping up. And
they really weren't. It's so crazy. Like, you learn to adapt.
For sure.
And actually, I have to say this because I'm still very excited. Cameron keeps forgetting about it, and I'm still going to say it. You guys, Kam and I went to high school together. Okay? We went to high school together. I've known his wife for a very long time. I love her. I've never met Kam in person. We have been doing this podcast, and I have never met this fool in person. And tomorrow I'm picking him up from the airport.
I thought we had met in person, but it feels so weird that we haven't met in person now.
Yeah, no, we have never, ever, like, at least in the back of my very tired and exhausted brain, I have never remembered meeting you in person.
That's so weird. That has to be the weirdest.
If we did and I repressed it, please tell me.
I don't think it happened. Like, you said that and I was like, oh, I don't know this person.
Yeah. Like, we literally jumped into a podcast together and we were like, let's hope this works. Like,
which is like so us. I feel like that's so us. We're chasing this little thing, and it's like, let's do it.
Why not? All right, come on.
That's so funny.
So I will make sure to have my GoPro charged.
Yeah.
So we will have our first bonus episode of us meeting for the first time in the car in a 2-hour drive.
Which is so weird.
He's like, dang it.
Oh. It'll be fun. I'm excited.
It'll be really fun. I'm just saying. So yeah, we're celebrating a couple of milestones, y'all. Okay, well, thank you for listening to us again. Welcome back. Holy crap. On our little hiatus. But thank you for tuning in to season 2, episode 1, loneliness. Let's kick it in the butt.
Let's do it.
Remove
loneliness. It's killing me.
Yeah, she's no longer.
I must confess. What?
I still believe.
Oh yeah, episode 2. So yeah.
I'm so excited for episode 2.
This is episode 1. Episode 2, we're gonna have Leela Mae Thompson, and she's an artist that my wife loves, and she's really big on TikTok. She creates content like no other, and her artwork just has such an impact. So she's gonna be on episode 2 as our first guest of this season. We have some big plans for the season because we have 6 guests booked, which last season we had 1.
We had 1.
Oh, be on the lookout for that. She's great. We already had the conversation with her, and she's amazing. So I can't wait to share kind of her thoughts on a lot of things in episode 2. So be on the lookout.
You guys will kind of get to hear a little bit about her creative process, what it was like being in college and wanting to be an artist. I mean, you literally get to hear everything from Leela's own mouth. So definitely tune in for episode 2. Yeah. But other than that, thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you next Friday for Leela's episode. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, you can find us on YouTube at Wisdom by Design Podcast. If you are on Instagram, Wisdom by Design Podcast, and you can find us on every single podcast app out there realistically. And if you want to reach out, if you want to be a part of our podcast, if you just have things to say, go to our website. Our website is wisdombydesignpodcast.com. We would love to hear from you. Maybe give us some things that you want to talk about, that you want to hear more of on the podcast. And let us see your face. We want to say hi. So
Alex will read your emails.
Do what?
Alex will read your emails.
Alex will read your emails because she is awesome. She is our manager. I don't know why I said it like that. It sounded cool. Manager.
In the notes of this episode will be the Patreon link. So if you guys really want to help support us in us growing and be a part of the community, the Patreon will be included with this episode. So
please and thank you. We love you guys.
We love you guys. Really, we really do.
I almost said realistically.
Realistically,
we love you. Anyway, well, that's it for episode 1. Thank you guys for coming back to spend time with us. My name is Jessa.
And I'm Cameron, and bye.
Bye. Why?